guys, this is Mr. Verdelli and this is part 2, and we're just gonna finish up this really quickly. Okay, so we're gonna say sales commissions, and let's see, what we need to do is per hour worked. Okay, so basically we want to know how much these salesmen are selling for every hour that they're working. So we're gonna type in their names. So it's Billy, Mark, Mary, and Chrissy. Okay, and again, remember, in a business, it's really important to know what your employees are doing. So what we need to do is to look at whatever sales they made, and we need to figure out, okay, if they made so much in sales and they work so many hours a week, how much are these people selling per hour that they're at work? Okay, because that's ultimately that's what you care if you own a business. Okay, so let me change this. Yeah, sales commission, and let's see, per hour worked. Okay, all right, so what we're gonna do, again, we're gonna take the total sales that they made, and we're gonna look at the number of hours that they worked that week. Okay, and so how do we find out? Well, maybe if we divide, right, the number, the amount of sales, okay, and we're gonna divide it by the number of hours. Okay, and that tells us how much these guys are selling on each hour that they're actually selling the products. Okay, how productive are they? Okay, so that's really important to know if you own a business. Okay, so we'll try that. Oops, let's get rid of this again. Okay, let's put a name to our store, okay, because we need to have something at the very top. That's something you also have to do. Okay, give it whatever name you want to, as long as it makes sense with whatever products you're selling. Okay, and again, I'm just going to give you some rough guidelines on that, on what kind of business and salesman people, and what kind of commission you're going to pay them, and you're going to have to try to figure out how many hours they work and all that good stuff. Okay, so they're going to call it PC Beach Electronics, and yeah, we're going to merge those sales. Okay, so merge sales. We'll do the same over here. Edit, merge cells. Okay. Also, let's see, what else can we do here? Yeah, how about if we center it? Okay, it's a title, so it will look better, and we're gonna make it bold. Okay, and we'll do the same over here, bold. We're gonna center it. Okay, and also, if you want to, you can make that title a little bigger. Like if you use intent font, you can make it maybe 14 points for the font. Okay, we're gonna do the same here. We're gonna center and make it bold. Okay, because again, how it looks is very important. Okay, you want that chart and that graph to look as good as possible. So here, let's make it a little bigger, the title, that way it kind of jumps at you and you know exactly what you're talking about. We're going to take this column, we're going to also, let's center it, so we can tell where the titles are. That's really important. Okay, let me see, and let's do something with this also here, bold. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Okay, this is a different type of data. We're gonna merge this one, but again, it's a different type of data. It's not Power BI. of the actual chart or graph or the table, whatever you want to call it, is kind of sitting by itself. So we want to make it look a little different. Okay, and see, how about if we do something with this over here, and you don't have to color it. On this case, on the title, what I want to do is to use a dark color and use a light font, either white, maybe light yellow, something. So dark background, see that? So definitely we need to change the font, but definitely you need to do that on your assignment. That's part of your assignment, to make it a bold, to make it a dark background with a light color font. See what I did there? I used dark blue with white letters, and that looks pretty good. And we're gonna color, and again we might do that shortcut thing, so we don't have to do it. So here at the bottom, we're gonna do this in gray. Okay, a great table looks really good, by the way. As if you use different shades of gray, it looks awesome. So if you want to try that sometime. But over here we're gonna make these two gray, and again we skipped a couple steps there just for the sake of time. Okay, so you can see the data looks pretty good. Now we're gonna highlight this, and we're gonna work on making that chart that we need. Remember, the chart is important. It just puts it. Some people rather read charts instead of look at the data. Instead of looking at the data, like we have it, they like to look at the chart. So it's important to have a good chart, very clear. Make sure the labels are there on the right hand side, like here. And I think this one would be about the best one. Yeah, because you can tell right there how much the total sales, the pay per hour looks pretty clear over here. Let's just customize it. Okay, let's give it a name, which is definitely we need to have the name of the store and what is this chart for? What is it representing? You see those little boxes on the side there, it says 12 point. You can make this bigger, and it has black color. You can make it any color you want to. Okay, so use your imagination on that. Okay, right? But you see how this chart looks pretty cool, you know, and you can see all the labels on the side. You can see the title on the top. That's good. Okay, we're gonna drag it, move it, and remember what we did last week. We're gonna do this again. Send it to some page. Okay, so it's have the data is on one sheet and the chart is on a separate one. Okay, so that's important. But we're gonna rename it, okay, and we're gonna name it compensation chart. Let's say this is for week 1, because remember, how do we know? You know, you're gonna have different charts. This is for 1 week, so we're gonna name it week 1. And the graph, the data, again we're gonna rename it compensation chart. No, not chart. It's not chart. We're gonna call it data, because the data for week 1. Okay, so it's important that they both say week 1, so you don't get it mixed up and you know where the data, what data goes with what chart. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Let's go over this again. Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna ask you some questions here at the bottom, which I want you to complete. That's gonna be also part of your assignment here. So remember, you can pause the video if you want to read the questions, which is what I'll try to pause it for you, so you can read Remember, good spelling, good handwriting. I mean, not handwriting, but good grammar. I don't want any spelling errors or nothing like that. You can type it in a word processor and then move them here, as long as it's on this table. That's all I need. So I don't want separate files. I want one file with the questions, the chart, and the data. Okay, so as you can see, it looks good. And we have two separate pages, and I'm gonna read this to you based on the data. And again, the data is what's above these questions. Answer the following using complete sentences. Which employee is the least productive per hour worked? Least productive. Which one sells the least amount of product per hour? Okay. Which employee is the most productive per hour worked? Okay. And again, I ask you to use complete sentences. Don't just say Billy or Mary. You need to say the most productive employee is Mary, or the most productive employee is Chrissy, or whatever. Based on the data, what two changes would you make in regards to hours worked? What would you do? Would you take, if you look at the data and the number of hours and all that, would you cut an employee's hours and give it to another employee? Would you let another employee work more hours? Remember, you have to be careful. If you work more than 40 hours, then you have to pay them time and a half. So if they make $10 an hour, that 41 hour, they're actually gonna make $15. So it's time, which is 10, and a half, which is 5. Half of 10 is 5, so it will be $15 an hour. So you have to be careful with that. Okay, but maybe you can cut back on some hours, and some of the employees need more hours, maybe, because they're selling more product. Okay, what changes or new plans would you implement to promote sales? What do you think you can do to promote sales? Maybe think about a couple of things there that you can do if you were the manager or owner. Do you think the commission plan or commission pay is better than an increase in pay? Why or why not? What do you think is better, to make $16 an hour with no commission? Would that be worth it for some employees? Maybe not worth it. Maybe you can look at the total pay they're making and come to some conclusions there. The total pay, meaning what they make per hour plus what they make plus what they make on commissions. So those are some questions for you to figure out, and again, answer them in complete sentences. Okay, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's a helpful video to you. Okay, so have a good week.